one of the things that was fascinating, many things that are fascinating in terms of when Corey and I started to compare notes, was that my colleague, Dr. Pete Peterson, actually invented a technology that uses what they call the ports on your back. And actually there's a chapter in this called Pete Peterson, the Tesla of Black Ops, in which I described this invention. The government was doing research on the nervous system, and they found that all the nerves cross over into like a radial pattern in the middle of your shoulder blade. So if you actually feel around here on your shoulder blade, you'll notice there's like a little dip or a little divot in there. And that's actually what they found when they traced out the nerves, is that for some reason that seems to have nothing to do with human survival or any value in any regular evolutionary or biological sense, there's this massive nexus of crisscrossing nerves that go throughout the whole body that intersect right on these points in the shoulder blades. And so he was able to invent something that can actually pump these longitudinal waves or scalar waves, special type of energy, into those points and actually introduce visual images, audio, and thoughts directly into the mind. And we recently demonstrated this to a very well-known Las Vegas tycoon. He was taken into a fighter jet that was parked at one of these military bases in the area. And they allowed him, because the fighter jets, you don't need windows anymore because of this technology. So it's a vision system. And you have these two little metal nubs that go into your ports on your back. And then you can see with your eyes closed whatever you want to look at. And it also has binocular zooming vision. And this is something that I started to talk to Corey about, and he knew all about it because he'd actually used it. So they do use this technology. It's not like the movie The Matrix where they're jacking in through the back of your head. It's actually your shoulder blades. But the point is, the technology does exist. I know who invented it, and there's a whole chapter on that in my new book. So this is all part of things we're going to be able to have access to once we get disclosure. You can download whole languages. You can download all kinds of information directly into your mind. You know, I have a fairly good idea of it. He didn't give me enough technical detail to understand exactly how the waves are created or how they generate thoughts, but you can basically record thoughts from one person and replay them into someone else. You can take visual images from a camera and turn them into thought forms that actually appear in the brain as visual images. And apparently it has an incredible zoom capability. So it makes it's like you have a God's eye view. You have much better vision with much more telescopic capability than you normally would have as a regular human being. It's quite amazing stuff. And so we call it the holy goddamn machine in the book. But yeah, I mean, look, when you look at movies like Divergent and Ender's Game, and you see people in these movies that are running through simulations, they're not really talking fictionally. The first review came in of the book because, you know, the major publishing houses get an advanced look at it, and we got a review from Publishers Weekly, and it was quite frosty. And they're kind of, I talk about how fiction discloses the reality, and they're talking in the, you know, when they reviewed the book, they basically said something about how I'm trying to legitimize my fantasies of science fiction as if they're actually factual. But what is going on, and we all know this already, everybody listening I'm sure is aware of this, they're using fiction to tell you the truth so that if somebody like me or Corey comes forward and tries to tell you the truth, they say, oh, he's just a fan of that movie or this movie or whatever. He loved The Matrix. He loved Divergent, you know. No, they're showing you exactly what they do in these films. That's why they're made.